The death that you deserve because of your sin, Jesus takes that upon himself. Jesus loves you. Why are you so mad at Jesus?
I fucking hate Jesus.
Why do you hate Jesus?
He's just not real.
He's not real?
No, he's not real.
Why is he not real?
Because he's a fictional character.
He's a fictional?
You made him up in his head.
The Bible is the most proven history
You're
book.
psychotic.
Is the most proven history book that's ever been. There are so many different recordings throughout history. I can tell you this, but you don't care to hear it. Jesus is real, and he loves you. And if you'll turn away from your sins, you'll call upon him as your Lord, he'll wash you and he'll cleanse you. I think you're mad at him for some reason. You think he took someone from you, but he didn't. So it's an exchange that God makes.
Warning. This video may contain graphic language, graphic violence, gross cartoon penises, and a whole lot of Pimpy the pimp-ass pimp showing motherfuckers what's up. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is going on out there, peeps? Man, you know, recently I kind of took a small break away from doing videos, and I had said on more than one occasion that I was really just trying to get back in tune spiritually. And so that's what I've been focusing on. There's a lot of weird shit going on around the world right now, and so I felt like it was something I needed to do. It was amazing that there's a couple of people, the way they responded, they weren't happy about it. And one of them had mentioned that I shouldn't express anything about God on the internet. And I wasn't sure where they were going with it, but I understand there's a spiritual war going on. Nobody could deny that. I told a story about 2 years ago. I was sleeping and woke up because I just felt something. And I turned to Jesus and said, "What was that?" I said, "I just felt the whole entire earth shake. Not like an earthquake, but a shake. The whole planet shook." And not only that, not only did the planet shake, but I can literally feel God coming here, personally. I know people are going to say, well, God's here all the time. No, this is different, way different. And Jesus said, yeah, Father's coming. But come to find out, whenever we experience earthquakes in real life, and this is true, you can look it up. Whenever we experience earthquakes on this planet, that is because we've had some type of shift spiritually. That's what causes earthquakes on this planet. And I know they talk about the plates rubbing up against one another, stuff like that. But go ahead and do your research. You'll find out that spiritual shifts are related to earthquakes. And I thought that was really interesting. A lot of people know the story. I've said this many times that I have a relationship with God and Jesus, and I've been speaking to them my whole life. But I try not to share that story too much because there's a lot of people who respond to that in a real negative way, and it tends to push me in a negative direction. And so I just stopped. Over the years, though, I've become mellow about that. Not that I want to get too much into this. I was explaining to somebody that there's definitely a spiritual war going on. Nobody can deny it. It's in your face. And I was saying, you can't even really mention God or Jesus on TV or you get cut off. And I'm going to show you that. So let's go over a couple of things because I want to show you that the spiritual war is real. And that there's some really dark, evil people that are in control of what we see on TV. People might not know this, but recently the Oklahoma softball team, I think it was, were kicking butt. And they've been winning game after game. They were asked about this run they were on. And you had 3 players that were there. They were saying it's because they turned to Jesus. And they went on to explain about how the team turned around. They came together, how they found joy in the game. Not just because of winning. Just because they were embracing the joy that they find in Jesus Christ. And that made things a lot more entertaining and fun for them. So let's go over this. I know some of you won't like it, but for those of you who are understanding what I'm talking about, or don't understand and maybe just want to see, let me show you what's going on around us and you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, this is weird. My keyboard, for some reason, is not, there we go, was not working. Yeah, go figure. I wonder who it is that's trying to prevent this conversation from happening. So let's go over a couple of things that people are noticing about TV and anytime you mention or show anything that's related to Jesus Christ.
This is the real footage, but this is the tampered footage.
Andre, congratulations. How do you you turn this around?
Man, first off, I need to first thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus, man. Just
the issue with sin. It makes us, our sin that's in us makes us do those things. And the only salvation for this sin is the gospel. The only way.
Yeah, you can just see, people who are directed by the devil, they become uncomfortable whenever somebody speaks about God and Jesus. There's this feeling of uncomfortability. They can't sit still. You can see this woman here is really struggling with what this man has to say. And so she has to rely on her network to intervene.
To really cure that what's on the inside is understanding that Jesus Christ died for our sins. And so to me, on a micro level, it's understanding.
Oh, and just like that, we lost him. I know.
Masters champion, Bubba Watson.
And then second, I got to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This day means so much more than putting on this green jacket in many ways.
All right, so a technical glitch there from Augusta National, but we will bring you much more of Bubba Watson, obviously.
So as you can clearly see, they get cut off. And it's not the first time. This happens all the time, especially on award shows. But let me show you what you'll see on award shows, as well as TV, that doesn't get any technical glitches all of a sudden, that doesn't mysteriously disappear off the TV, isn't interrupted in any way, shape, or form. Let's take a look.
Weeknd tells a story of an artist selling their soul in the music industry in these 3 music videos. It starts off with him performing at a club and everyone just looks unamused and no one likes his music. Until this mysterious man sits down, and I think this is representative of the devil, and you'll understand why in a second. This man throws his lighter at the Weeknd on stage, he bursts into flames, and now everyone loves his music. Now in the next music video, he's seen burying his old self. But once he's done, the mysterious man comes back and finds him. The Weeknd then shoots him in the music video to try and get rid of him. He dramatically falls down and passes away, and then the Weeknd gets into a car, remember this car, and drives away. Now the last music video, The Hills. The Weeknd slowly comes out of a crashing car, the same exact car. Once he gets out, he goes inside of his room, and it is filled with this dark demonic energy with the same guy there and 2 girls, and the Weeknd has the most empty look on his face. I believe that this is symbolic. When you sell your soul, your music career will take off, but once you make that deal, you cannot go back.
This is what I mean when I say they start our brains since we're born.
Wake the f up, people, please wake up.
I need y'all to blow this post up right now. If you know, you know. This is way deeper than what y'all think, bro. I'm telling y'all right now, throw y'all away, bro. Do y'all understand? What the P? Oh, yo, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. Oh, P. Hey, do y'all understand?
Beelzebub is associated with the figure of Baal, a former Semitic.
Just pay attention, bro.
Is Beyonce warning us about the end of the world? So conspiracy theorists all over the internet believe that Beyonce is warning us of the coming apocalypse. Now there's a few pieces of evidence that we're going to go through right now. One of the biggest clues that we should look at, and that is at the album cover. So if you look here at the album cover, you see that she's on this really spectacular looking horse. Well, this horse is significant to this theory. In the Judeo-Christian Bible, there is a book called Revelation, and in this book, it speaks of the end of the world. Now, in this description, it talks about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The white horse of conquest, the red horse of war, the black horse of pestilence or famine, and the pale horse for death. Now, conspiracy theorists actually realized that Beyonce over the years has taken pictures with a lot of horses, actually. It's kind of weird. And would you believe it, she took pictures with horses that were colored exactly in correspondence with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The white horse of conquest, the red horse of war, the black horse of pestilence and famine, and finally, on the cover of her new album, the pale horse of death. Most of her songs on the album talk about freedom, of letting go, and just being cool. Well, why is this? Well, of course, if someone's aware of the end of the world or the apocalypse, the one thing they don't want you to do is panic. Literally within one of her songs, she says to remain calm, keep dancing, and just act like everything is A-OK.
This might be the craziest thing I have ever seen. So at Lana Del Rey's concert, a wave of energy or whatever the heck happened jolted everyone in the crowd back. Just watch the raw footage.
Doja Cat just came out with a new music video, and it is one of the darkest things I've ever seen. In this music video, she completely transforms herself into a demonic creature, as well as cozying up next to the Grim Reaper in symbolic occult outfits. She then proceeds to say in her song that she's the devil, and then repeats the same claim later on by telling the Lord that she's a demon. She changed her profile picture to this bizarre image as well, but later removed it after experiencing a lot of backlash from her fans. Many did not see this coming from Doja Cat, but when I saw this picture of her at the fashion show in Paris, for those who have spiritual discernment, you can see that she had taken part in the humiliation ritual. Usually when an artist goes through a humiliation ritual, Satan will give them more relevancy. However, this relevancy can only be given if the artist promises to glorify Satan in their upcoming project.
O-N-S. Demons. This is from the 1930s, dude. No one's making shit like that.
What company made that?
So it's a company, Gateway Toy Company. So
on the back of it?
This is Gateway, right? That's all we know about it. Like,
get it? Oh, I get it. Gateway.
Right. Danvers, Massachusetts. Wow. These things are really, really hard to find. I, of course, have them, which is amazing. But here's the deal. This is the craziest thing. The first thing is there's hidden messages in these boxes. So the first thing when you look at this box, it says family. It's the only word on there that is in all caps, right? So what happens if you spell the word family with the blocks? Where is my other?
The Y is missing.
The Y is over here. Let me spell it right. So I have to sometimes. Here we go. Yep, there we go. So if I spell family in these blocks, if I just turn them all over, check this out. M-U-R-D-E-R on the other side.
So as you can clearly see, it's not just the entertainers. It's in the names of things. People don't realize this, but languages were created to cast spells. You don't have to believe in magic. Okay, I understand that. But a lot of what we do is taking part in magic. There's no such thing as black magic or white magic. There's only dark magic and light magic. That's why you see a lot of symbology and subliminal messaging that comes across. That's so your subconscious mind can catch it when your conscious mind won't. It's a form of brainwashing is what it is. This is something that they learned through the MK Ultra programming. But you've seen how they spelled out the word Nickelodeon. You've seen how that toy had on there demons was written in the blocks. That's just a small example. Why it is really important that you need to pay attention to what's going on with your children, what they're being taught, the books they read, the toys they use. It sounds overwhelming, but it's not. You just have to want to pay attention. But all's not lost. A lot of people are starting to really realize that there is a spiritual war taking place. And so they're fighting back. And how are they fighting back? With Jesus. Let's listen in.
No matter the outcome, whether we get a trophy in the end or not, this isn't our home. And I think that's what's amazing about it is we have so much more. We have an eternity of joy with our Father, and I'm so excited about that. And yes, I live in the moment, but I know this isn't my home. And no matter what, my sisters in Christ will be there with me in the end.
I know a lot of people are wondering what she means by this isn't her home. She's talking about earth. She's talking about being taken off earth during the second coming of Christ. That's what she's talking about. So a lot of people are confused about that. Don't be. She knows where we are now is not a permanent place.
not one, not two, but 3 young college athletes openly give all the glory to Jesus for giving them the platform to play softball.
Alex Scarborough with ESPN. For the players, I know you talked about keeping the joy of the game, but I'm curious, it's a long season, right? And you guys have had the target on your back the entire time, the win streak being number 1. How do you handle the unique pressure that comes with that? How do you keep the joy for so long when anxiety seems like a thing that could very easily set in?
Well, the only way that you can have a joy that doesn't fade away is from the Lord. And any other type of joy is actually happiness that comes from circumstances and outcomes. I think Coach has said this before, but joy from the Lord is really the only thing that can keep you motivated, just in a good mindset, no matter the outcomes. Thankfully, we've had a lot of success this year, but if it was the other way around, joy from the Lord is the only thing that can keep you embracing those memories, moments, friendships, and all of that. So, that's really the only answer to that, because there's no other way that softball can bring you that, because of how much failure comes in it and just how much of a roller coaster the game can be.
I was so happy to win the college. I've talked about this before, but I was just so happy that we won the College World Series, but I didn't feel joy. I didn't know what to do the next day. I didn't know what to do for that following week. I didn't feel filled, and I had to find Christ in that. And I think that is what makes our team so strong, is that we're not afraid to lose, because if it's not the end of the world if we do lose. Yes, obviously we've worked our butts off to be here and we want to win, but it's not the end of the world because our life is in Christ, and that's all that matters. I think a huge thing that we've really just latched onto is eyes up. And you guys see us doing this and pointing up, but we're really like fixing our eyes on Christ. And that's something where, like they were saying, you can't find a fulfillment in an outcome, whether it's good or bad. And I think that's why we're so steady in what we do, and our love for each other and our love for the game, because we know this game is giving us the opportunity to glorify God. Mm-hmm. And I just think once we figured that out and that was our purpose and everyone was all in with that, it's really changed so much for us. And I mean, I know myself, I've seen so much of a growth in myself with once I turned to Jesus and I realized how he had changed my outlook on life, not just softball, but understanding how much I have to live for, and that's living to exemplify the kingdom. And I think that brings so much freedom. And I'm sure everyone's story is similar, but we all have those great testimonies that have really like shown how awesome it is to play for something bigger. And I think that's just what brings me so much joy. And no matter the outcome, whether we get a trophy in the end or not, this isn't our home. And I think that's what's amazing about it, is we have so much more. We have an eternity of joy with our Father, and I'm so excited about that. And yes, I live in the moment, but I know this isn't my home. And no matter what, my sisters in Christ will be there with me in the end, when we're with our King.
So it is really nice to hear people talk about Jesus Christ when they are doing interviews. But just understand, it's not very easy to do. There are several examples of people being cut off, like we saw earlier. You know, do you have people that are out during these pro-choice? You have people who stand on the sidelines and just pray into a microphone, and they get physically attacked. They can't stand anybody bringing up Jesus Christ, so they feel compelled to attack them physically. They get in their face, they yell at them, they scream in a microphone. Just like we saw in the beginning of this video, that clip, where that girl felt compelled to get into the face of the guy, say what she said about hating Jesus. They can't help it. The evil in them compels them to do that. And we see that happening everywhere.
They are literally putting it in front of your face. And this music video, Supplies by Justin Timberlake, starts off by him watching inequality headlines on TV. Also, one of the TVs flashes We Can't Breathe, which is really weird because this music video was released in 2018. Next, they show them in front of the public library with burning flags and tanks and flashing lights. But the next scene is a bunch of people bowing down to the Illuminati sign. And once they see this, they run and burn it down, but they just continue to worship the pyramid, which I guess is a good sign. Maybe it's symbolizing we need to fight back against the people that are controlling the world.
Yeah, that Justin video is a perfect example of how magic works. You have to put out into the universe what you want to happen. where it says we can't breathe, and then all of a sudden you have the whole issue with George Floyd a couple years later. That's because they had generated enough energy to make it a reality. I understand people are not going to get that. You just have to have a better understanding of how magic works and how the powers that be understand very well how it works. That's why you see a lot of these predictive programming. People go, oh my gosh, the Simpsons have the ability to predict the future. No, that's predictive programming. What they're doing is they're putting out into the universe, because you have to announce it. And if this came straight out and announced on TV, people go, what the heck is going on? What are they talking about? Then it happens, people would freak out. So they find slick ways to do it. They do it through music videos, they do it through TV shows, they do it through movies.
Taken another step towards a cashless society. A big bank has confirmed customers in some locations can no longer withdraw money over the counter as branches continue to wind back services.
It's up there with the pub with no beer, the bank with no cash. ANZ has confirmed some branches no longer handle cash at the counter. Others are directing customers to smart ATMs for cash transactions.
The latest figures on ATMs shows the number of machines has more than halved from almost 14,000 back in 2017 to around 6,000 in the middle of last year.
For years, cash was king, but not anymore. Hello there. I wondered if you had any change for a $50 note.
No, I don't have any cash.
Don't use cash anymore these days?
No, definitely not. No change at all.
Never?
Never. Not having cash is much more convenient.
For the first time since dollars and cents were introduced in the 1960s, Australia's cash supply is shrinking.
We are becoming fully digitalised. We're still producing cash out there, but we're just becoming more reliant on other ways to pay. And this is what you would expect. In fact, it's a trend that's long been in the making.
Now, some of you might be wondering why I put that clip into this round of Satanism and stuff like that. That's because the Bible talks about the New World Order. It talks about how all of us fall under a one world government, and that's already taken place now. But it does say we have a chance to escape it, but that's going to take a whole lot of cooperation, and we have to stop being divided. This is exactly how the New World Order works, through division, and they're doing a great job of it. Well, I should say they were. People are starting to wake up to the truth, and they're starting to find a way to unite and fight back. But once we go into the central bank digital currency, understand that it has an expiration date on there, so you can never save money. You can never generate wealth because the money expires if you don't use it after a certain time. That means you will be stuck in a perpetual state of enslavement, which is exactly what they want. The money is programmable, so they can determine what you can and can't buy at which store. That's not good. Also, if you piss off the government or you speak out against the government, they could just take your money as a fine, or they could just stop you from using it altogether. So these are really bad. You can understand what kind of control they can get over the people if they control your money.
You're doing really well now, but didn't you release a CD like almost 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I released a gospel record when I was 15 because I grew up in, a household where all I ever did was listen to gospel music, and my parents are both traveling ministers, and so I kind of sang about, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. Because I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Yep, you heard her correctly. She sold her soul to the devil. And she's not the only artist to admit that. Bob Dylan has. He spoke about this before. And many other artists have spoken openly about selling their soul to the devil. And it's not just hyperbole, it's the truth.
One's for those who think that it's just art when these entertainers in Hollywood show their allegiance to Satan through their signs, symbols, music videos, and movies. Very popular rapper Young Thug has been in court fighting a RICO case, and it's just come out that there's footage of one of the members of his YSL crew sacrificing goats. Young Thug's lawyers want goat sacrifice excluded from evidence. Attorneys representing the Grammy Award-winning rapper Young Thug are asking a judge to exclude evidence of a goat sacrifice captured on police cameras during the the arrest of one of the star's co-defendants. How many of you have seen the music video with the rapper Young Thug and Lil Uzi Vert, where they have not only Masonic symbolism, but women with pentagrams painted on their face and devil horns? How many of you have heard of the rap group 3 6 Mafia? Won an Oscar for their song on the movie Hustle and Flow. There's a member in the group called Crunchy Black who gave an interview and spoke on his experience meeting Satan.
It wasn't what Nas showed us. I would say illusion of he was a friend. He did that for real. Ain't no way you gonna be able to say 666 Mafia or none of that without actually meeting the man. You know, everybody got their own choice, but stop searching for something that you really don't want to be.
He's not the only artist talking about meeting the devil before you sign the big contract. I remember talking to Mick Jagger about the song Symphony of the Devil and how it came around, and he even spoke about the devil asked him to write the song to introduce him to the world, which I thought he was kidding, but he was dead serious. I had a friend named Shannon Timms who was an up-and-coming rapper. He was growing quickly. He had a huge fan base. I thought he was going to be one of the next biggest things, and then he's kind of disappeared for a little bit. I ran into him like a couple years after that, and I said, what happened? I mean, you were really getting into music. You're starting to become one of the big shots. And he said, no way, dude. He goes, let me tell you what happened. So when I went to go sign the big contract, I said, okay. He says, dude, I met the devil. And I was just looking at him like, what do you mean you met the devil? He goes, no, like, Pimpy, I'm telling you, the real devil. The real devil comes out, and you have to sign a contract with him. And I said, are you shitting me? He's like, no, dude. He goes, you know I wouldn't kid with you about that. He goes, I couldn't do it. I had to walk away. Shout out to Shannon Timms, because not everybody can walk away. Most people would more likely sign a contract out of fear more than anything else. But what he said is they give you all this money. They give you these fancy houses. You have women, drugs. You have access to everything. There's nothing you need that they won't give to you. If you do some illegal crap, they will bail you out of jail. He says, so it makes it really hard not to fall in that lifestyle. And I understand what he's talking about. I'm glad he made the proper choice and walked away. Like I said, he's one of a handful of people I know that have said the same thing.
Unknown creature washed ashore in Panama, and it disappeared before authorities could investigate. A woman was on her way to a party one night when her flashlight caught the reflection of something on the beach.
It was not human, but I still thought, what the f*** is this?
As she approached the creature, she was shocked by what she saw.
I do think it's interesting that people are coming across more and more weird creatures like that, unexplained. Now, I do remember hearing something about different types of doors are opening where there are demonic beings that are starting to come out and walk on the earth. So take with that information what you will, but that is a freaky looking animal. Is it a demon? I'm not saying it is. What I'm saying is it's kind of weird that all these creatures are starting to pop up. Not only that, you know what'll freak you out is how many dinosaurs have recently been filmed. And I'm not talking about fake ones. I'll do a video on that that'll blow your mind. I'm talking about people have caught babies. We've seen real, not CGI, like real actual dinosaurs running around. I kept thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? And then you find out later on there is a laboratory that is cloning from embryos like you see on the movie Jurassic Park. Very freaky.
More Oreo cookies for me. The Freemason symbol, the Satanic cross, the Zodiac wheel, 12 rings, 12 apostles, nice Templar. My advice, start researching what you're putting in your body.
Our DNA holds a message. I went into one of the oldest and most mysterious spiritual texts, the Sefer Yetzirah, and it's only been translated into English once. Every single alphabet that has ever been known to exist has always had a mysterious number linked to the letter that it represents. When I took the ancient alphabets and I replaced the elements of the DNA with those alphabets, the DNA began to read as you read the letters in a sentence in a page upon a book. When we replaced those letters with a periodic table and we began reading the text, the very first sentence in every strand of DNA literally says the words, God eternal within the body.
Oh, that I believe 100%. I spoke about this before in my conversations with both God and Jesus. Jesus had mentioned that when he was walking with an apostle, and the apostle kept pointing up to the sky saying, oh, when I die and I go to be with Father up in heaven. And he kept pointing up, and Jesus didn't say a word. Jesus just took his finger, turned it around, and pointed it back at his chest. And I kept waiting for Jesus to say something, but he didn't. And the apostle kept going on. He pointed back up at the sky saying, oh, when I go and I pass and I go to be with the Father. Jesus again stopped, took his finger, curled his hand around, and pointed it back inside his chest. Now, I heard about this when I was younger, and it bothered me. What does this mean? So I remember having a discussion with somebody about God being omnipresence. And I said, if God was omnipresence, then he wouldn't need the watcher angels. So that's how the conversation started. But then all of a sudden, it rushed at me all at once. I said, well, wait a minute. Maybe the reason why God is omnipresent is because he's literally in every living thing. So what Jesus was saying to that apostle, when he took his finger pointed back at him, you don't have to wait to go be in heaven to be with God. God is already in you. You and God experience your life together. That's why when people talk about Judgment Day, God's going to know your every thought, your every word, your every dream. That's because God is experiencing it with you at the same time. That's why it's really important for you to build a relationship with God. You don't have to go very far. He's right there with you.
This here, Hollywood Records contract, and I'm signing it. I'm going to have my first record ever and selling my soul to Hollywood Records.
As you can clearly see, that is not fake what I was talking about. You heard Selena Gomez saying that she's about to sign her first record deal. And on there it says she turns her soul over to Hollywood, turns her soul over to Satan. That's not fake, that's real.
What the is that? Should we... Did we go up there? I don't hear it anymore. Should I be doing this? Yeah, I don't see anything. Go. What the f...
Do our eyes deceive us? I guess if you have a conspiracy mind, it makes sense, right? Yeah, we know the symbols and they still throw it in our faces. Makes sense though, right? The halftime show is one of the most viewed events every single year. What a time to harvest the energy from the masses, right? I know, you'll call me crazy, then still deny the symbolism. That's Madonna's halftime show. She pops her top and we see what her costume really is. Understand that sports in general are used to specifically preoccupy our minds with stuff that doesn't even matter. So you think basketball is safe from this? Yeah, you call it a coincidence until you see one of the biggest stars in basketball throwing up the same exact symbols. Oh, and what are those? What does that mean? If you know, you know. And I know you know.
In case you don't know what he's talking about, you see LeBron James throw up the Illuminati triangle, but then he turns around and does two OK signs facing each other. For people who are Satanists, those are your 666.
The demon's name is Zozo. It also goes by Zaza. I just thought I'd mention that. This demon is most commonly summoned by Ouija boards, but because of what Zozo does to you, you really do not want to summon it. You see, when Zozo is successfully summoned, he has just one goal,
and that goal is to possess the person that summoned him. Once possessed, he will drive you to madness, and then if Zozo is successful, your life will be over, if you get what I'm saying. Now, contact with the demon Zozo has actually been documented over the years. In 1951, a boy named Ronald Doe was allegedly possessed by Zozo after using a Ouija board. And as recently as 2019, a YouTuber named Kyle allegedly made contact with Zozo, and some extremely creepy stuff ended up happening after his contact with the demon. Now, I personally will be attempting to contact Zozo on live tomorrow. Here's the event if you want to check it out. I'll be using a Ouija board and I'll be seeing if I can actually get Zozo to show up.
The biggest hip-hop festival in Europe just took place, and you won't believe the demonic and Illuminati energy that was going on. First of all, look at the backdrop of this set from the rapper Yat. I already made a video on this artist, but he's one of the top trending artists whose career took off from TikTok, as everyone just dances to the demons. And I have no idea who this is, but he has inverted crosses on his shorts. Metro Boomin's there, one of the biggest music producers out there, with flashing Illuminati signs and all different kinds of designs. If you don't believe that the devil runs the music industry and that selling your soul for fame and success is a thing, then explain this.
Never gonna let you close to me, even though you need the most of me. 'Cause every time I open up it hurts.
This is The Weeknd's most recent concert, and you won't believe me when I say this, but there is some demonic energy being harvested here. And after watching his new show, The Idol, which I'll be making a video on, this makes total sense. I mean, you have people fully clothed in robes dancing in circles around this floating figure. And you'll see what The Weeknd is wearing towards the end of the video, but just watch this. Travis Scott has a music video of him acting like he's God, and it's ironic because the name of the song is Stop Trying to Be God. The music video starts off with him leading a herd of sheep and then immediately points towards the sky where he's posing to be a god. After that, the sheep basically become people because he does something and then they all do the same. After this, a bunch of people line up to be baptized by him. I mean, what the heck is this? In part 3, I'm going to post an interview where someone straight up asks him why people think his music is satanic, and his answer is very interesting.
Something strange is going on with Beyonce. There is a strange conspiracy that Beyonce is using the souls of music icons to feed her success. Well, you see, when she started her I Am World Tour in 2009, Michael Jackson died. Then with her The Miss Carter Show tour in 2012, we lost Whitney Houston. Subsequently, with her On the Run tour in 2014, we lost Bobby Womack and Prince in 2016 as she embarked on her Formation World Tour. Now, it might seem like a coincidence, but as she announced her Renaissance World Tour in 2023, the world lost Tina Turner. Furthermore, she has always been the one to pay tribute to these lost icons.
Taylor Swift's similarities with Zena LaVey, the daughter of founder of the Church of Satan. There is a conspiracy that Taylor is Xena clone created to continue the satanic agenda. After acting like a virgin Christian girl, Taylor lured young girls as her fans under her influence before implementing her ideology. Someone claimed that this is Becky, a girl that has accidentally passed away after a weird accident. And then this album front page. What do you think it is? Taylor Swift performances and videos are becoming more and more evident of the satanic influences, with mostly young girls being the foundation of her fan base espouses to rituals, witchcraft, black magic, and occultism. Doesn't she look like a witch during her offerings and rituals? Here is like she does some sort of spells. very dark entry. Pay attention to the serpent in a second.
Oh yeah, that tank was freaky. I've seen that many of times. Whatever is in there, it is powerful, it is loud. Somebody said, I think it's an animal. I was like, what kind of animal could take an entire metal cylinder that is trapped in and get it to rock the way it does? And if you look at the very top, it almost looks like it's finally breaking loose. My opinion is it's probably one of the SP creatures. There's a number of them that it could be, and if you don't know anything about the SP levels, you need to look that up.
Same thing with Kanye, bro. He's the real Chris Brown, and he's not allowed to get on stage. It's the only way he can make his money.
So you feel like that was like a lookalike that did that?
Huh? Do I feel like it was a lookalike in Chris Brown's body? Wait a minute.
Okay.
No, Chris Brown is not that. It's just the same. It's the same thing with Kanye, bro.
The taller Kanye, the smaller Kanye, taller Kanye.
I was Ye. They started making more Yays. Chris Brown, that was not Chris Brown on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I'm an alien.
it's not Chris Brown on stage, bro.
Let him cook.
Chris Brown, he believes in UFOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think you ever been abducted?
Nah.
Do you think you ever seen anything that looked different? Why do you believe?
Because I'm an alien.
Why?
Because I'm an alien.
Okay. Explain.
I can't explain.
Do you feel like, and I don't mean, you know, sometimes people think alien with the eyes and outer space and all that stuff, but you really feel like you're not of this planet?
I don't know. No, I'm an alien.
You ever get the feeling that the reptiles are tired of hiding and they just want to come out?
So Lady Gaga got this young girl throwing up on her chest while she's performing. Y'all still think it's a conspiracy theory that these people have demonic ways? Y'all still think it's a joke out here? Look at this buffoonery. It's getting real now. Different things from the past are popping up and got you thinking now. Oh wait, let me guess. You thought her wearing a nun outfit with an upside down cross, eating a rosary, or even doing these full acts with men with that costume on was just artistic. Oh wait, let me guess. You thought that her hanging out with Marina Abramovic, somebody who's known for spirit cooking, having a tasting party with a person in a tub with something that symbolized for blood was just artistic. No, you know who the real conspiracy theorists are? You guys calling the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I know, it's sickening. But Lady Gaga having that other girl puke on her, that's part of a magic ritual that a lot of people don't know about. They usually use feces and urine and stuff like that. One time she had a fan come up and pee on her. She got in real big trouble for that, so now she just resorts to just using the puke. So it is part of a magic ritual is what it is.
Let's talk about WizKid. Now, just like Rema, WizKid has been incorporating some demonic imagery at his concerts. About 2 weeks ago, WizKid had a concert where the background was a stairway to hell. Check out this video. And the crazy part about this is you got people cheering. They have no idea that this is a stairway to hell. Or they may even notice it and don't care. Now, I want to say this is a coincidence, but it's not. He had another concert where he also showed demonic imagery. Check this video out. Like, bro, what is that? Out of anything you could put on the screen, he put this demonic figure. I'm trying to tell y'all, they poisoning Afrobeats.
This church is hosting masses of Beyonce, and you won't believe what they said at the end.
Sing praises to the goddess herself, Beyonce.
Survivor, I'm gonna make it. I'm a survivor. Keep on surviving.
Yo, I'm out of breath because we sing Beyonce in church. Holy cow.
Tell me about the progressive nature of Grace Cathedral.
I think a lot of the people who show up tonight are people of color, LGBT people, people on whom other people's narratives have been projected. And I mean, just to be honest, the church hasn't been the best about lifting up those voices. It really began as us saying, how can we actually be the people of God that we hope to be in the world?
And Beyonce is the perfect passage to get that message out there.
Honestly, I think Beyonce is a better theologian than many of the pastors and priests in our church today. That is not an exaggeration.
Yeah, you heard that right. And this is supposed to be coming from a man of cloth, a man of God. Obviously, he is not. The fact that they would elevate a human being above God or put him as an equal is just mind-blowing to me. Beyonce is no goddess to be looking up to.
What's that right there? This is Baphomet. Okay. Baphomet, like Baphomet is the one from here, from America, is the spirit from America. For the same way, like Haiti, we use it too. So Baphomet is the god of those artists. When all those artists, like In Hollywood? Yeah, when you're talking about Jay-Z, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all this is what they're serving. Wow. Yeah, the spirit is serving, man. All those people, like when you go down there, you initiate that.
Lil Uzi Vertical posing as the Antichrist on this magazine cover, Char with the serpent and the forbidden fruit in her new album cover, The Weeknd posting this story, but if you zoom in to the right, there is 666 and a pentagram on the wall, Cardi B joking about exporting the Illuminati if Elon doesn't fix her Twitter, Taylor Swift making music videos dressed up as the devil, and fans are reportedly suffering post-concert amnesia at her show. So when Tyrese Gibson said this on an interview, he couldn't be more right.
We're in competition right now because they are trying to normalize the devil. They are trying to the devil is on the main stage at award shows and in every video.
Yep, I agree with Tyrese 100%. Even people in Hollywood are able to identify that there is a spiritual war going on. Like you said, we have to make our voices louder.
Ice Spicy and Taylor Swift are debatably two of the most famous artists in the world right now. And they both collaborated to make a song, and the music video has dark symbolism. And you'll see that in a second, but I'm not surprised about all of this because it's known that Taylor Swift has done witchcraft in her concerts and music videos. And Spicy Ice hasn't even been in the music industry for a year, and she's already breaking records that top artists haven't even hit yet. And she's already showing the symbolism. She gets invited to the Met Gala, and the first thing she does is flash the one-eyed symbolism. Now, in their music video, we see Taylor Swift dressed up as the devil with a bunch of demons around her. And have you heard the lyrics she says during this part of the video? I mean, honestly, all of this is just getting sad. And towards the end of the video, we see them climbing upstairs above the clouds to meet each other. They both equip these mystical looking ropes. Taylor Swift then throws her rope on the moon, Ice Spice to Saturn, and we all know what's associated with Saturn.
Now, trust me, there's going to be a lot of people out there who listen to these artists' music. You're going to have a lot of parents who should be keeping their kids from listening to this music, who are just going to say, oh, it's no big deal. It's artwork. It's just, they're just putting on a show. They're just doing it for attention. Yeah, okay, keep telling yourself that, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to believe that. And if people don't agree with that, I understand that. The demonic forces are very powerful. That's why people who are warriors for God have to be much louder than these other individuals. That's why it's very refreshing to see more and more people speaking out about their love for God, their love for Jesus, like these girls who play on the softball team for Oklahoma.
I feel like it's just very disappointing to just see people just trying to tear us down.
But I think the great thing is we can put our phone down and not even look at it.
When all you do is win, there are a lot of people that are not going to like it.
That's the way we play, and that's what people enjoy. Or you don't. You either like it or you don't. But we're not going to apologize for these players knowing the game and celebrating it the right way.
Back-to-back champs. 51 wins in a row. Swag, emotion, and plenty of criticism because of it.
You know, I think it's interesting that the coach and the sports announcer said there was swag, they were celebrating, but neither one of them, the coach nor the announcer, said, and celebrating their love for Jesus. They never even brought up God or Jesus one time.
And it's never against anyone else. I'm going to stay being who I am and stay true to who I am. And if that passion that I have offends anyone, it's just kind of like, okay.
Unfortunately, many people have taken to social media to express their displeasure. This tweet is just one example. Bleep that stupid Oklahoma softball team. Go love Jesus in private. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I also confess before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, he will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Matthew 10, verses 32 to 33.
So there you have it. There's no denying that there's a spiritual war going on, whether you believe in God or not. It's definitely there. There's a lot of energy that's in the air that people who are followers of God feel. Not just them, but people who are followers of Satan as well. People like to say that we're in the end times, whether you believe in that or not. Definitely all the signs are there. So yeah, it took a little bit of time to get reconnected spiritually with God and Jesus. Not that I strayed far away. From time to time, I will go back and shut off the world and continue my lessons with both God and Jesus. And this is what strengthens me spiritually. And I felt like it was time to do that. Not just that, I also had the calling. I hope this video explains to you a little bit what it is that I've seen out there over and over again, and why I felt it was necessary to take some time off to just get reconnected spiritually, and hopefully you're doing the same thing. Anyways, that's it for now. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you later. I'm out.